Hi, everyone. Susan Gerbeck from the Girl of Skepticism on Wikipedia Project, GSOW. I stumbled across this. This wasn't a question, but I stumbled across this on Twitter. Twitter is very interesting. There's so many interesting things you can find there. I'll show you this. It's a little confusing. I did some research into it, but maybe I've got some things wrong and I'm missing something that should be really relevant. But let me show you, and you're welcome to comment and tell me if I've got something wrong. So this person on Twitter, whom I don't know who it is, Ashley Reinsberg, posted on his Twitter account October the 3rd, 2025, and I'm recording this on October 10th, 2025, about a Wikipedia article on somebody named Philip Roth, who I guess is an author. And Wikipedia claimed, I love that Wikipedia claimed, like Wikipedia is like this entity and they have meetings and discussing what it is we should put on the Wikipedia page. I don't know. Wikipedia claimed the book was inspired by the life of writer person. Roth said this is in no way substantiated by fact and he should know because he wrote it. So he says it was actually inspired by his friend Melvin, blah, 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 Princeton professor. So Roth saw something wrong on the Wikipedia page and Roth wanted it repaired. Okay. So going through this thread, this Ashley person in 2025 thinks this story is relevant enough to put on his Twitter feed. Okay, let me show you some more. Like I said, I'm wrapping my head around it as well. So Roth contacted a Wikipedia official who put him in touch with a site administrator hoping to get it rectified. Roth wrote a letter to the administration, probably by typewriter. I don't know why that's relevant. The administrator responded that he, Philip Roth, was not a credible source on Philip Roth and told him to find a secondary source. Unbelievably, the Wikipedia article still today contains the claim about this person. Here's the quote. And so this Ashley person says secondary sources like the New York Times and company are deemed better arbitrators of Roth's fictional reality than Roth himself. The reason is that on anything political, cultural, social, Wikipedia is a wrapper for the mainstream media. The media says it's true, it's considered true by Wikipedia. If the media says it's false, it's considered false by Wikipedia. Do you trust Wikipedia? So it looks like this is one of those engagement tweets where he's only telling part of the story, and the story was from 2012, and not doing his own research on this. I'm not quite sure what this Ashley person's agenda is, but he seems to have made a lot of other tweets about Wikipedia in a disparaging way. I don't think he really understands what he's talking about. It does sound really, really interesting, and I would be affronted if I knew nothing about Wikipedia and somebody said, the author of the book is telling Wikipedia there's something wrong, and the author of the book should know better than the New York Times or whoever. I mean, that's totally legit, right? I mean, I would be offended and I'd be upset if that's what I thought too. But being a Wikipedia editor and I'm explaining to you, and there are rules out there so that you understand that Wikipedia does not work like that. So what actually happened, and I read about this on the talk page for the human strain. Let me pull that up so you can see. I don't want to have too many tabs open, so let me pull this up. I had them open, I close them, I open them, I close them. Okay, so it's a 2000 novel by this author. Now let me show you. I'm going to go to the talk page. Sorry, my voice is kind of weird. I've got a little bit of a cold. So I'm going to go to the talk page. You see where it is? You guys see this? See the talk page? The talk page is where Wikipedia editors have conversations with each other. Sometimes it's a little over, it's Wikiverse. We're talking in language that's not meant for the mainstream to understand because we use words that are meant for other editors. But this is all public. You don't need a Wikipedia account to read it. You can read it for yourself. So there's controversy about here. There's articles about here. They're talking about it. This is 9 years ago. And you could read about this. Who Killed Wikipedia, which is an article written 10 years ago. Old. Wikipedia in 2025 is not the Wikipedia of 2015. They barely resemble each other as far as the rules and so on. It's a different world. Wikipedia of 2002 was like the wild, wild west. So, anyway, so you could talk. This is where they're having conversations about Roth and what he wrote. Now, what Ashley, the Twitter person, was saying is he's upset, or he can't believe, he's just shocked that it would still say this information on it. So I looked at an old revision, which is July 23rd, 2025, and I found it by going through the history, right? You can look at the history of the page. And this is an old version of the page. So I went down here, and it does say what Ashley says, and as if this is bad. Now, this is how Wikipedia works, right? Roth described in a 2000 piece for the New Yorker about his novel, how his novel was inspired by an event in the life of his friend, Melvin Thurman, a professor of sociology at Princeton for 30 years. Thurman was subject to a witch hunt. Okay. And it's cited to citation 3, which is the open letter to Wikipedia by the New Yorker in 2012. Okay, let's see if we can wrap our mind around this, because it is a little confusing. According to the Wikipedia talk page, Roth did not write to an administrator on Wikipedia. He had somebody else do that. And in the article, we know this also because in the New Yorker article, let me pull this over so you can see this. This is written in 2012. An open letter to Wikipedia by Philip Roth, 2012, in the New Yorker. Okay, I had reason recently to read for the first time the Wikipedia entry, and there's something wrong with it. Yet, when through an official interlocutor, through somebody else, I petitioned to have this misstatement deleted, along with 2 others that he thought were wrong. My what is this word? Interlocutor was told by the English Wikipedia administrator that Roth was not a credible source, and I understand your point that the author is the greatest authority on their own work, but we require secondary sources. I don't get what the problem is. That's how it works. So Roth did not reach out to Wikipedia. Somebody else reached out to Wikipedia on his behalf. Okay. So Ashley says that Roth reached out to the Wikipedia editor, reached out to Wikipedia. So that's not true. Roth had somebody else intercede and reach out. Wikipedia cannot take some person who we have no idea who that is. We do not know who it is who's writing to Wikipedia and say, this is wrong, correct it. According to the author, this needs to be corrected. We cannot take a statement like that because we do not know who that person is. We do not know if it's somebody who's faking that they're friends with Philip Roth. We don't know if it's Philip Roth himself. It doesn't matter. We can't take somebody writing saying this is wrong because my friend told me that this is wrong. Even if my friend is Philip Roth. Do you get it? Rules are consistent across Wikipedia. This is not singled out to some just Philip Roth. This is how Wikipedia works. We need secondary sources. We need something else to cite to show that we are following our own rules. So that was handled wrong, right? Wikipedia handled it correctly by saying, and they probably could have worded it better, but they could have said, get back to me when you have something that Philip Roth has actually published somewhere saying this is incorrect. Show me a secondary source. Show me some evidence. Don't just say, I'm a friend of Philip Roth and he says this is incorrect. Like I said, anybody can say that, and we just can't do that because there's no way of proving it's Philip Roth, the friend. Even if Philip Roth writes to them, we can't prove that that is Philip Roth. That's not our business. That's not how Wikipedia works. We're not some agency out there that's checking, doing research like that. We don't do research, original research. It's against our rules to do original research. We have to go with what the citations say. If it's incorrect, show us that it's incorrect by following up with some other kind of citation. When we get the information, okay, just here's what happened. When Roth wrote that for the New Yorker and said, this is incorrect on Wikipedia, I'd like it corrected. That's all he had to say. Then we can use that citation on the New Yorker and correct it. Because the New Yorker should have done its due diligence as a reputable source to know that Philip Roth publishing in the New Yorker is really Philip Roth. I hope this doesn't sound too circular. It is a little confusing, even in my brain. And I know what I'm talking about here, even though I have a cold. So Wikipedia is absolutely correct. Philip Roth was confused. When he wrote the article for the New Yorker, he should have just said, I saw that some things were incorrect on the Wikipedia article, and I'd like to correct that. Here is the truth. I am Philip Roth. I wrote the book. Here is actually the truth. Can you somebody please correct this on Wikipedia? That's it. Done. And it would have been corrected. But no, he has to go and insult and Wikipedia editors and show his ignorance of how Wikipedia works, and starts talking about how his friend tried to intercede and tried to get this changed. And then they, in their arrogance, Wikipedia was like, no, we can't make the change because Philip Roth is not an authority on his own book. Do you see the arrogance of somebody who's making that statement? And Philip Roth doesn't know. I mean, I feel bad for him, but this is knock it off. Well, I'm sure he's dead now. I think he's dead now. But knock it off. Don't be asking for help and then saying that they have an agenda. Wikipedia is trying to do this horrible thing. And same with this Ashley person, whoever he is. What the heck is he talking about? I mean, I don't, why in 2025 are you bringing up something that was resolved back in 2012? So yes, the Wikipedia page article still says this, but that is how Wikipedia works. When there is a citation that says this thing and another citation that contradicts it, we usually put both on the article so that the person, the average reader, will go and say, aha, I see that this is what I thought. This first citation, oh, I see there's been a rebuttal to it. Oh, I get it now. We put both because they're both citations and it explains the story better. So I don't get it. Let me show you this. Okay, I'm looking at an older version. It's explaining it. It's saying the reviews of the book, okay, suggested the central character was inspired by so-and-so. Other writers in the academic mainstream press made the same suggestion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 citations said that. After his death, it had been blah, blah, blah. Roth himself stated he had not known all this, citation. In Roth's words, written in an open letter to Wikipedia published by the New Yorker, He clears it up. Citation. So, what is wrong with telling the full story when we have so many citations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people said this thing, and Roth comes back and says, that is incorrect. Actually, it's this other thing. So we're going to put both on there because otherwise, those 6 citations that are floating around out there by other people in reputable places, publishing reputable places, are going to be floating out there. And somebody's going to find one of those links and say, aha, this is what really is going on, and not know about the 2012 letter that Roth wrote to the New Yorker. We want them both on there. That's how it works on Wikipedia. So I don't know what Ashley's having a problem with, that we should completely get rid of the fact that there was this incorrect statement. Why would you not want more information? I'm just very confused. I don't know if Ashley's trying to do this because he's got some sort of agenda. He's trying to point out a mistake. A mistake was made, not by Wikipedia, but it was made by people, for whatever reason, got something wrong about the book, and they published repeating their wrong information. So Roth comes in and says, that's incorrect. Here is the fact. And then Wikipedia says, okay. So I'm looking at the most current version, which is October 25th. And they have taken out those 6 references that had it incorrect for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, this is a story, you guys. I'm invested in no way in this at all. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. So here, this is the current article. Roth described in a 2012 piece how his novel was inspired by an event in the life of his friend, blah, 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 blah. And it's tied to that number 3, which is going to the open letter to Wikipedia. So I guess the editors decided that they didn't need to include that other 6 references, because I guess it's all summed up in that letter from 2012, and we don't need to add more content to it. What's the problem? This is how it works. And as I've explained in other videos, Wikipedia is not a they, it is us. And you can't just have somebody who's invested in the Wikipedia page like it's your own Wikipedia page say, that's wrong because I know better. We don't know who you are. We don't know if you're sane. We don't know if you're them, or if you have an agenda, or if you're trying to change it and you're somebody else, or maybe you're trying to hide something about your past, or even if it's you. And I've told this story many times. I'll tell it again. James Randi, dear friend of mine, went into Wikipedia, made an account. It was obviously he was using his own birthday and his own name. And he went in and changed some things on the Wikipedia article for the James Randi Educational Foundation. And editors said, no, you can't do that. And this account got very upset. I should know. I am James Randi, so I should know the correct date. I was there. And the Wikipedia editors were very polite and said, I'm sorry, Mr. Randi. We need a citation for that. And Randi was very upset because he wanted to take care of this. He felt it was flawed. So now somebody could have made an account in the name of using his birthday and his name. There's nothing keeping somebody from doing that. Nobody's checking that the username is actually the username. I mean, that's not something Wikipedia does, and I hope they never do, because that would be kind of weird. So Wikipedia is saying we do not know that you are James Randi, and that if you are James Randi, that your memory is right. You know, you could have the year wrong because the citations say something else, right? So somebody caught a hold of me and they said, Susan, can you just deal with this, because Randy wants this cleaned up and blah, blah, blah. And here's the story. And I just said, okay, I went and I looked at it and I got a citation and I made the change because what Randy was trying to change was correct. He was just trying to do it without a citation. He was just trying to edit it to fix the year because he knows, because he was there. So I found the citation and made the change. No big deal. It's done. Over. It's not been altered. It's just, that's the way it is. But the editors were kind and they said, I'm sorry, but you can't do that. And they assumed it was Mr. Randy because they were trying to be respectful. I'm sorry, you can't do that, Mr. Randy. We need a citation. How dare you ask me for a citation? I am James Randy. We don't know that. So I hope you guys understand that if you're polite and you follow the rules, then the changes can be made if you have a citation backing it up. But we just can't assume that everybody's acting the best interest of everybody. It gets conspiratorial. So I don't know what this Ashley Reinsberg is talking about over here. It doesn't. What? Okay, well, maybe I'm missing something because I didn't follow this all over. But he ends with, "Do you trust Wikipedia?" As if Wikipedia is like. I mean, Wikipedia is a encyclopedia edited by lots of people, thousands and tens of thousands of people, possibly worldwide. How can you make a statement that trusts Wikipedia? That's just like, should we trust all men? I mean, should we trust the government? What kind of statement is that? It's just one of those bait kind of things that they make. Are you happy? How do you answer that? What do you mean? To other people, oh, for more Wikipedia reporting and investigation, subscribe to. He's got a Substack. Let's open that up and see. So I guess that's his agenda. Oh, look at this. The untold, or let me show you. So he's got a Substack that's called The Untold Story of Wikipedia. It's called Non-Point of View, NPOV. Let's see. The Substacks, a lot of them are, give me money. Look at this. Wow. Why Wikipedia went after Charlie Kirk. The truth about Wikipedia will shock you. Uh-huh. We're on a mission, a note from his founder. Wikipedia is a methane fire. Wikipedia declares Trump an authoritarian. These are all clickbait kind of stuff, right? Does this guy have any knowledge of Wikipedia? I mean, does he edit? Does he know? Wikipedia's left-wing bias is real. Oh. So he started this a month ago. And okay, so I think we understand. He wants people to got 10 likes on this one article. Here. Let me show you. Neutral point of view. Wikipedia looks open, neutral, safe. But in a maze of secret pages and shadow accounts, a handful of unseen editors rewrite what billions believe is true. Their fingerprints are. In the weeks ahead, we'll follow the trail. What we find will change how you see the world. Encyclopedia. Quote, unquote. Subscribe to find what lies beneath Wikipedia's glossy surface. We'll take you on a journey into the heart of one of the most powerful influence platforms in history. It's free. Don't miss. Subscribe now. 10 likes. All right. So he's got an agenda. I mean, dude, open an account. Learn how to edit. September 8th, 2025. Give me a freaking break. So we see an agenda from him to attack Wikipedia. God, what is it about people? They're finding conspiracy theories everywhere. I mean, if you look hard enough at something, of course you're going to be able to find an agenda. I have an agenda putting this video out, trying to educate people to do your own, I don't want to say do your own research, but I guess I do mean do your own research. All of this is public, people. It took me a little bit to find that this has been going on since, oh, I was going to show you these. This has been discussed on the Wikipedia page, the Wikipedia article for the human strain, since like 2014. I went back to. I know this because I looked at the history of the article. So if you look, which is why I was like, why are you bringing this up? Okay, this is the history page. You guys see view history, click on that. You don't need an account. Everybody's able to do this. And I went to like older edits, older edits, older edits, older edits. Okay, the thing came out in 2012. So, I mean, I just picked something at random. Here's one from 2013. Here we are. In 2012, Roth said publicly his inspiration for the novel was based on an event in the life of his friend, a professor of sociology at Princeton for some 30 years. Citation. They made an error whenever they fixed it, when they put it in there. Okay, so I just happened to click on one that has an error, but for the citation. So if we go back one more page, I think it's this one I clicked on. Let's see, get fixed. Here it is, public. Here's the same citation, citation 3. Yep, they still didn't fix that citation error. Somebody doesn't know what they're doing, was making this public before they checked to see that they fixed the correction. Let's see if we go farther back. January 13th, 2013. Let's see. Look, there it is. The edit's right there. Citation 3, still with the same error. So annoying when people make the edit, but they don't go back to look to make sure that they fixed it. So this once Roth came out with his article saying, here's the correct information. Somebody fixed this on Wikipedia. Somebody fixed it on Wikipedia, even though they got the citation coding incorrect. But they did. So why in 2025 is this guy, Ashley so-and-so, still writing about it? I don't know. I'm not psychic, and I know there are no psychics. So interesting question that I spent some time on. And oh my gosh, you guys, ask me. I will answer if you have a question. But looking for conspiracies and trying to make other people out of the bad guy when you have no knowledge of what you're talking about, maybe check first, because your integrity looks really bad when you do that. Okay, take care, everyone. Send me questions. I'll answer them. I promise.